Timber company Gunns is relying on Forest Peace to placate financiers nervous about funding the $2.3 billion pulp mill. The company is also hoping any agreement will deliver a multi-million-dollar compensation payout for it, withdrawing from native forest logging. Today the company was promoting a report which predicted the mill would deliver $10 billion to the Tasmanian economy. I spoke to Gunns Managing Director Greg Lestrange earlier today. Greg Lestrange, thanks very much for joining us. Today you've released an updated economic impact study spruiking the benefits of the proposed pulp mill to the Tasmanian economy. But in reality, isn't it do or die for Gunns to get this mill built?
There's no doubt that the project is a significant one for Gunns, and without the pulp mill there may be a different future, but we're not contemplating that today. We're focused on delivering of this project, which we think is positive for Tasmania and Gunns.
The pressure's on though. You've got 5 months for substantial progress to be made before state permits expire.
Pressure's been on for the last 12 months to really change the perception around the project, get participation from a range of banking and equity partners. So I don't think the intensity's changed, but certainly we have a clear focus on achieving the timetable and delivering on this project.
Do you need the Forest Principles deal in order to get and secure finance?
I think Tasmania needs the principles or a resolution to this 30-year conflict. It will certainly help our project. It will certainly help the image of the Tasmanian industry and Tasmania's ability to develop industries here. But we have to get that fine balance between the social inclusion and the economic outcomes.
Have you had any recent meetings with the state government trying to shore up support? Made any approaches?
We haven't made any approaches. We keep in contact with the state government. It's an important project for the whole of the state, but it's a normal course of business that you have those engagements.
Did you brief the state government about the economic impact?
We had a meeting with them yesterday.
You're an $800 million company wanting to build a $2.5 billion mill. Many commentators would say that makes you ripe for a takeover. Now you've got sort of all these final approvals ticked off. Is that something that you're worried about, or is anyone sniffing around?
I'm not so sure about worried about being taken over. We are a public company and hence we trade daily, and if someone sees greater value in that, they can make an offer. I think that that would be sad for Tasmania. It would be sad for our employees for that to happen, although it may well happen. But I think that it would be great for an Australian-based company to deliver this project and be shown to be able to deliver the type of benefits to the community, but done in a way that we're sensitive and in touch with those issues surrounding the community as well.
Gunns wants to sell back the 20-year, the entitlement to Forestry Tasmania to native forests. Now, part of the Kelty deal calls on the federal government to, in fact, finance the buyout of some native forest contracts. You have the lion's share of those contracts, somewhere around 80%. How much would you be seeking?
We haven't engaged in any of those processes to date, so let me make that clear.
But having the lion's share of those contracts, I mean, is that what you're waiting for, compensation, before you complete your transition out of native forests? I mean, you had said you hoped to be out by the end of last year. That hasn't happened yet. Is that what you're waiting for?
It is not what we're waiting for. We think that it is important to get the principles developed and resolved in total. We would have liked all of the parties to be further along the process than they are to date. But we're focused, our clear goal, and the largest financial benefit to us and the community, we believe, is developing the pulp mill, and that's where our focus is.
Are you disappointed then so far with the outcome? You seem to suggest that you are in terms of the peace deal. I mean, there's a protest planned this week in Launceston. Did you believe that those ENGOs at the table were supportive of Gunns' changes to the mill that you then got ticked off last week by Federal Environment Minister Tony Burke? Do you feel that the Wilderness Society or Environment Tasmania seem to voice support and then backed away from that?
I think it's a difficult process. This is we've come a long way in 12 months. This is 30 years of conflict, 30 years of people having quite opposed views. We are moving in a direction that is resolving a number of long-standing issues. Yes, there will be a few little bumps along the way. I think it has to be realised that it is difficult for all parties.
But do you feel that they voiced support and then backed away from it?
I think at the end of the day we have to come to the table with it to see if we can actually reach a resolution. All parties will not get everything that they want in that outcome. Certainly for us, having a long history in the native forest industry, a lot of our employees being in that, and their livelihoods and their future have been around that. For us to make our moves are quite hard for us as well. I think all of the parties have to have some courage and move, and we can only do that if we're sitting at the table, having those discussions and having a level of honesty with each other about what we can and can't do. And I think that's where we are at today.
Scottsdale sawmill closes in a fortnight. When will the future of the other mills be known?
Again, I'd prefer that for the people's sake to be sooner rather than later. They've lived in a lot of uncertainty as the parties have negotiated their way through these principles. I think we need to bear in mind the social impact of those people, and I think resolving this and giving them some certainty about their future sooner rather than later would be in everyone's interest.
Still a way to go. Greg Lestrange, thank you.
Thank you, Ellie.